What is up, everybody? It is Monday. It's the Casa, it's the network. And you know what that means? One way or the other, we are the dads. Not always on wrestling, but today is Ask the Dads for the first of two back-to-back Mondays, which would mean what back-to-back means, I guess. Two consecutive Mondays, I should say, that will be Ask the Dads, and you'll find out why. If you don't know already, here's a clue throughout the hour. I am, of course, Jeff Meacham. He is the Renegade of Wrestling, I guess, today because we're on both channels. JJ Williams. Jay, if you haven't seen this guy or me yet today, turn your damn computers on earlier in the day, chittens, because you already missed our Renegade recap of him talking about all things Dwayne Johnson throughout the month of May. And you also missed his world premiere. I got the goddamn wrong graphic up there, of course. Son of a bitch. I always do something. All right. Ignore the time. It was on at 3, but Red Notice was at 3. So if you haven't seen either one of us today, you're late to the party. You just are. Anyway.
And if you're like Cece, who's been here for all 3, thank you very much, sweetheart.
We love you for that. Support. That's it. Oh, there it is. Okay. I don't know why this is logging me back into what this is, but anyway, it's okay. CC is here. Josh is here with all the enthusiasm we expect from Mr. Mansfield. So we appreciate Josh being here. Thank you guys, everybody, for coming on in. And I'm going to go ahead and get the banner rolling right now because people need to know what's going on. Because if, and this is a big if, it's so big, it's an if, like a Jeffa, if you will. If we collect $400 in donations between the two channels, between here and the end of broadcast day, June 30th, this man right here, after it's got to be a decade of not doing so, will, or somebody close to him will, take clippers to that head and shave it, not necessarily bald, but definitely clip all of the long, pretty stuff off. Oh, yes.
Yes. And with the hat and the headset on, you can't really see it. So I'm going to take the headset off for a minute.
There we go.
Put Jeff to shame here.
You know what? I'm really ashamed as it is of myself, so it's okay. Lord Almighty. That's what I wanted. So, yeah, that's a lot of hair. And again, if you missed last night's stream, which shame on you for missing last night's stream, he happened to mention to us and to the world that the last time he had his hair cut in any degree was the Wardlow haircut that Wardlow currently sports now. He was rocking the Wardlow before Wardlow was making MJF no-show shows. So anyway, right, just throwing that out there. So it's been a minute. If y'all remember the old Casa days, you know how long it's been since JJ done cut his hair of any significance. So yeah.
Well, that's not entirely true because when I moved out to the IE, I had to cut it because of finding a legitimate real job.
Well,
but once I got settled in at Wally World, where they didn't really care and they kind of wanted you to be more yourself, I started growing that stuff out again. So it's really only been a couple years, not near as long as Jeff is making it sound like. But still,
number one, going for dramatic effect. Number 2, so thank you for ruining that for the viewership at large. Number 2, it hasn't been completely like, freaking clipper status like it was in the Wardlow cut days.
True.
He had a nice retail, conformist haircut a couple of years ago. We're talking like freaking Jeff Dunham peanut status. Like gone. Bye. So, yeah. And by the way, just to show I'm a man of my word and I don't intentionally screw things up, this is what I was trying to show you a little bit ago, because I did actually prepare the damn thing for during Renegade recap. So that was on today. Again, if you missed that and you missed Renegade's recap before, once we done here, because you know you don't want to watch Raw for 3 hours, you know better than that by now, you can go back and watch us.
Yes.
It's very simple, kids. I'm going to take some water because I'm thirsty after all that spiel.
Hey, no worries. Go ahead and throw up the first question there.
I did. I saw that from Mr. D, Daniel himself. What match from Double or Nothing would we have changed the outcome to and why? I can't really find fault with that show, honestly, other than what we talked about during Open Mic Night last night, which, again, if you missed that, we were on for 9 hours. We can give you a little grace period, I guess. But the Owen Cup as a whole definitely could have used a little reworking, like we talked about. Like JJ was very adamant about talking about. I think the champions retaining was fine, other than Punk, of course, becoming the world champion, which, again, we talked off air that I'm stoked and he's jelly about the fact that I get to, be there when Cult's Personality plays the world champion in the Fabulous Forum on Wednesday. I'm like, I don't think I would change anything. I honestly think MJF could have put up a little bit more of a fight, if we're going to be real. But considering what we know, rather what we think we know what happened this weekend, I'm not surprised the way it went down.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to nitpick the show because the show was an amazing show.
Right.
And considering it was my first AEW pay-per-view top to bottom, the fact that I got more than half right, I'm stoked about.
Yes.
The only 2 matches that I could really, one I could passionately say I would probably change, the other one would just be nitpicky, is I would have put Joe as the winner of the Owen.
Okay.
Over Adam. I get what we were talking about last night, putting the couple, the family to be as the winners and trying to keep that part of the legacy. So I understand some of the logic, if that is in fact the logic they were using.
Right. We're giving Tony an awful lot of credit there.
Well, we're giving Martha a lot of credit there. Let's be real.
Well,
but,
booking wise,
considering the monster that Joe has always been booked as, and the undefeated streaks that loom large in his legend.
Yes, very true.
That was his first defeat in AEW.
That's true. It was.
So for him to get beat that soon into his tenure really shows that they're not even going to try with an undefeated streak with him, because he didn't even make it to 10. So I would have maybe given him the rub, especially since TV champion, then you win the tournament, it just kind of stacks these accolades up on Joe, whereas WWE had kind of dismissed him being injury prone, put him up on the commentary table, then sent him back to NXT, gave him the championship, then no, we're taking it from you, it's on the Braun Breaker now.
Just kidding, I fool you.
I think it would have been a way for Tony and for Joe to kind of give that finger back to the Connecticut brass.
Right.
So that's one. The one that I'm more passionate about that I would have changed was I would have put Darby Allin over Kyle O'Reilly.
Right.
As we were talking about last night when we talked about the Owen in the tournament, the fact that Darby and Ray Phoenix both got jobbed out in the quarterfinals, so that the final 4 were essentially WWE castaways, kind of got in my craw a little bit.
Yes.
So I would have given Darby that win over another WWE castaway, one that made it to the final 4.
Yeah,
I would have given him that victory back, but that is just my 2 cents, as it were.
As far as Joe and Tony's booking, I really, and again, this is just me giving Tony the benefit of long-term projection booking, maybe they're going to have him be more of a Ring of Honor guy since he's so associated with that, and they're not necessarily looking to put him over in AEW so, boisterously.
But until ROH gets a TV deal,
right,
got to do what you got to do. They're keeping the titles represented by having the champions on AEW television, having the belts defended on AEW television. For all intents and purposes, AEW, Dynamite, and Rampage is Ring of Honor television for right now. Whether you're going to have them be an ROH guy or an AEW guy, if you're going to have the belts on your TV programs, you need to build them as legit champions. And if you're going to have Joe jobbing out to Adam Cole, baby, then how is he going to look as a threat to Punk? We all know the history between Punk and Joe. We'd love to see that come back to the forefront. Title for title, maybe even TV title for AEW title. But the monster Samoa Joe isn't going to look as much of a threat to CM Punk if he's jobbing in the finals of the tournament.
Fair enough. That's a very fair argument there. I agree with it. So Josh is wondering what his next column is going to be off Open Mic Night based on the fact that he had to miss last night due to Double or Nothing going far too late for past his bedtime.
Okay.
That's a good question.
I have one for him. Do you have the Owen bracket that I sent you last night available for the men's bracket?
It's not in this window. No. If you give me 2 seconds, I can.
Okay. Take a second. So my topic for you, Josh, is this, and Jeff is going to try to bring the image up here really quickly. One of the things that I talked about on Open Mic Night last night was the fact that the Owen tournament, specifically from the quarterfinals to the finals, was far too heavy with WWE cast-offs. There were only 2 people in there that you could really consider AEW originals, AEW made talent, and that's Darby and Ray Phoenix. The other 6 individuals were all people that had recently come to the company from either NXT or WWE proper, being Raw or SmackDown.
I'm not sure.
And was the tournament booked way too heavily with those guys when there's guys like Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, Orange Cassidy? There's so many talents in AEW that weren't even in qualifying matches. We talked last night about if they were going to go for the family thing, Sammy Guevara and Tay Conti weren't even in the tournament. Did the AEW roster, Tony, whoever's booking, Martha, if she had her hands in it, rely too heavily on WWE talent specifically for the men's bracket? And if they did, why couldn't the tournament have just been held on Raw or SmackDown? We know Martha's issues with WWE, but if WWE talent was going to be so prevalent in the tournament, why couldn't it have been a WWE tournament? There is your column for the week, Josh.
Do with it what you will, my friend. All right, where are we at here? Okay, that's all we got so far. Low turnout today. Everybody's out barbecuing.
Ken, welcome. Thank you for the happy Memorial Day greeting. That's another botch Jeff did. He forgot to run the little Memorial Day video that I put together.
I didn't forget. Just ran out of time trying to clean this house up. Excuse you. I was going to do it at the end, but whatever.
Okay.
If you're going to bury me before I even get a fucking opportunity to explain myself, then whatever.
I was going to suggest, having seen that we run it at the end, but.
Let's see. Where Josh says, did the men's Owen Hart tournament really rely too heavily on former WWE stars? Sounds good. Shoot me a message with. There you go. Perfect. There you go. I dig it,
Josh.
I love it, man. Again, we kind of went way into the weeds on it last night because it was right after the show. But your first AEW pay-per-view. You got to watch it. I know it wasn't exactly the best viewing experience due to having us in your ear trying to not spoil everything for you, but I definitely recommend going back if you can to the site I sent you and rewatch it, because it was, even watching it as you did last night, and even as we were watching it here on BR Live or wherever we're watching around the world, it was funny. Noah was saying he had more fun last night than he had at WrestleMania, and I kind of gave him shit for it. That show, even though it was only one night, in WrestleMania was very good over the 2 nights. I'm finding myself hard-pressed to disagree. That show last night, even at 13 long, was still one of the best pay-per-views I've seen on American television in recent memory. It was so well laid out. It was so well paid. Oh, it went long. It's like, you know what? He had 13 matches. The fact he got 13 matches and it was still broadcast time under the time that, under the time of like WrestleMania 5 or the longer pay-per-views, or God, WrestleMania 2016. How long was that damn show? That show is still going on, along with Hillbilly Jim and freaking Mr. T's speeches. It's still forever.
Think about this for a second, okay? And I'm not going to count the pre-show match because that was on YouTube.
Yes.
So out of the 12 pay-per-view matches,
right,
only 3 of them were under 10 minutes long.
Yeah. And
WWE, take note.
And again, there will be the anti-AEWers, and I'll probably see one of them on Thursday.
And I'm not trying to be anti-WWE.
No.
I still have my feet firmly in the ground on all sides here. I'm fair, unbiased.
But there will be the anti-AEW people.
WWE needs to take notice of that, because to have a pay-per-view stacked that heavily and only 3 matches went under 10 minutes, that's part of why it felt so long.
Right. Because they were long matches.
Every match needed to be that long because AEW is smart and they only run pay-per-views quarterly.
Yep.
If WWE scaled their pay-per-views back like we've been wanting them to do forever. One more time with gusto. Forever. They could get away with loading a card up with that many matches, going for 4.5 hours, and giving us solid product because the matches will mean something.
Exactly. WrestleMania 35. WrestleMania 35. I put it into the Google search because Josh brings this up that he liked it in spite of the length. You have to remember something though. Other than Rollins and Lesnar, Joe and Mysterio, which Mysterio was hurt for that allegedly, and Corbin Angle, which shouldn't have been a thing. And honestly, the one that surprised me as being short is Balor and Lashley for the IC title, with Balor defeating Lashley, which says how far both those guys have come or not come in the last 3 years. No match was under 10 minutes. And honestly, that show gets a shit ton of hate because of the length, delaying transit, and the weather along with it. People were stuck on that transit train platform for hours.
Were they stuck there forever?
Because of not, apprising the New York, New Jersey Transit Authority about the length of the show going past 12 back there and leaving people stranded. So I think that show gets a lot more shit than it deserves. WrestleMania 32, 2016, that show gets every bit of shit it deserves and probably could still take a few lumps off of 35's ass, if we're going to be honest. 32 was a god-awful WrestleMania, headlined by a god-awful World Championship match, and featured an opening match that cost me and Aaron both what hair we did have on our head. So piss on that show from jump. So I like 35 myself. Like I said, Corbin Angle should never have happened. At least not as Angle's last match. Okay, let me just be clear on that right there. Balor and Lashley under 5 for the IC Championship, which was the last time the Intercontinental title was defended on pay-per-view, not just WrestleMania, on pay-per-view. So 3.5 years almost, and the last championship on defense pay-per-view was under 5 minutes. Just over 4, if we're going to be really truthful. 4 minutes and 5 seconds. That shouldn't have happened the way it happened. Joe and Mysterio by in under a minute for the U.S. title. Like I said, I think one of them was injured, if I remember right. So that was kind of like we got to get our shit and get them out of the ring type thing.
Right.
But other than that, and Rollins and Lesnar being 2.5 minutes was the impactful opening statement. Rollins just slayed the beast. Boom, we're done in 3 minutes. Lesnar's on the plane home. That was a great way to start the show. It was very well done, in my opinion, because they could have gone a long ways. They could have actually gone, they did an interesting thing because they had Alexa open with Hogan, which was touchy in nature because not everybody likes Hulk. So, but the fact that they had Alexa get the Hulkamania moment and Alexa put him over and vice versa, that was a great way to start. And then him walking by going, shaking his head like, this is bullshit. I got shits to do. And going down there and starting the match, that, again, great way to start. The show itself, I thought, was paced better than people give it credit for. It's just there were too many matches. You figure there were 16 matches, and with 4 of them being pre-show, but even still, 12 matches put the show well past 12, which is what dicked everybody out of getting home on time. So I think there's a lot that goes into the criticism of WrestleMania 35 that's unfair. Lengthwise, overall show, yeah, that was bullshit. Shouldn't have gone that long. And if you are going to go that long, give the city a heads up.
Yeah, for sure. Because
if that happened in California, there'd be you think the people riot out here when we win championships? Oh my God. Can you imagine being stuck down in the freaking red line for that much time? Oh no. Cops would be called in a hurry. Probably be too late. Josh says, right, but Mania was a really good on paper and in ring. Both 3 big faces won their matches. Exactly. Shane versus Miz was beautiful chaos, as we've talked about. And all the tag matches rocked, but also felt really bad for Ray with the company intentionally trying to screw him over, telling him and Joe to go home right away. Yes, but you have to remember something. They followed what was an amazing moment with Kofi Kingston finally becoming the WWE champion, and they had to precede Roman and Drew, which was Roman's comeback from leukemia. So Ray and Joe just kind of ate shit, had like the taste of it because they were coming between 2 monumental moments on the card.
Yeah.
You can't shortchange Kofi Mania, and you can't shortchange the return of Roman Reigns from a cancer battle. You just can't do that. I'm sorry. And again, that leads to Jay's point. Maybe Joe should have won the cup just to kind of, again, Joe being placed in that spot wasn't a screw in of itself, but having to cut due to where he wasn't on the show is definitely problematic. But again, Rey Mysterio, Ray at 2019, how long into his career does he really need another big moment, especially when he's going to get squashed anyway? It really. So anyway, that was a long talk about WrestleMania. Jeez.
Right.
But hey, you know what? We're getting the questions about it. Why not? But yeah, I felt that, at least on my perspective, the only AEW show that's really felt like fart in church status to me was, I think it was Revolution 2021. Forgive me for my lack of brain matter working there. But the Revolution where they had the exploding ring thing. That was just
okay.
That
I heard about that.
The show was okay. The finish was bad. And I think my perspective is also skewed because I also covered the NWA show that day, and I was down in the garage room of where you be at the moment. So I was trying to do that, trying to take care of both kids, trying, and it was just so much for me. But yeah, ending with an exploding ring that didn't explode and ended with, Eddie selling it like he'd been literally shot and it just didn't come off like that. That was the one AEW show I went, not a good thing. And that was already a year and a half ago. So hindsight being what it is, I think AEW can only get better. And
yeah, we talked about that last night, and the troubles that they're making for WWE right now. The fact that WWE couldn't sell out Allegiant Stadium and they had to downgrade to the MGM Grand Garden Arena.
Yeah. And I had forgotten that they were going to, I forgot the reason why they were at the stadium in the first place. I had no idea it was fight week in Vegas. It's like, how in the hell?
International Fight Week in Vegas. You've got UFC running a convention Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, much like AEW did this past weekend in Vegas. And then you got WWE trying to come in on the Saturday, the same day as the convention, same day as the UFC fights, and you going to try and pull people from legitimate fight action to Allegiant Stadium for your fake wrestling presentation. Yeah. No, Vince. Bad week to try to do that.
No, Vince, that's a bad Vince. Like,
any
seriously.
other weekend in Vegas, you might have been able to do it. You try to compete with UFC at that time, bad call.
Yeah. And
but SummerSlam, which is booked for the end of July in Vegas, put Money in the Bank in Tennessee, flip the venues. Still may not sell it out, but you're going to do better numbers than what you were pulling for the show for Money in the Bank. At least you probably wouldn't have to downgrade to the Grand Garden Arena. And if you did have to downgrade, you probably could have got the T-Mobile Arena instead.
Right. Because there's still no hockey going on yet at that point. So,
Yeah, but instead of walking into the halls where that 1998 Halloween Havoc was held.
Freaking breakout in Heiser trying to think about that god-awful thing. The only thing that could have been better about it is if Hogan actually set the Warrior on fire, so the whole place burned down. Okay, it didn't happen. There's no evidence. It's all burned to the ground anyway. It's gone.
Well, counter argument to that is Halloween Havoc 97 was there too, which gave us that great Eddie Guerrero Mysterio match. So,
yes.
Point, counterpoint.
Yes.
Like we said on Renegade Recap, for every grease, there's a grease too. For every Rocky Horror, there's a shock treatment. For every Guerrero Mysterio Cruiserweight title, there's Hogan Warrior.
Lest we forget the main event of the Halloween Havoc and the one before it too. Hogan Savage with Piper returning. How bad was that match? Hogan Piper in the cage, which was freaking more flexible than the damn bodybuilders on stage in Vegas, a couple weeks later. Just saying. Hogan in Vegas main eventing Halloween Havoc?
Yeah, I was going to say, so Hogan Halloween Havoc main event. Got it.
And let's see, Hogan also finished WrestleMania in 93 in Vegas, and yeah, that went well. Oh, Terry. Anyway, back to reality. Yeah, right, it's a wrestling show. Yeah, reality. Good one, Jeff. Anyway.
Josh, take it easy, brother.
Enjoy
We
the
will
dinner,
see
sir.
you next time.
There's plenty of things coming up where we'll see you, Josh, I'm sure. We talked about that yesterday, too, which we'll get to the plugs here at the end as we do. But, man, just, again, there's AEW.
I'm surprised we're not getting too many other questions right now. Chat room's dead today.
Well, like I said, everybody's out barbecuing, having fun, doing the Memorial Day thing. I'm not going to begrudge them a minute. I got to get content up. I got to mix the money and do the things. So it kind of is what it is.
Exactly.
So, but you know what? If we're going to go ahead and do that, we'll go ahead and talk about it because there is a lot coming up, and I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to how this is going to play out. Again, if you missed Renegade's recap today, go back and watch that when we're done today. That was on. We talked about JJ covering his Dwayne Johnson movies. That was exclusively on the Casa, so be sure to check that out, as was today's episode of Renegade's Reviews, which concluded his Dwayne Johnson reviews with Red Notice, co-starring Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot, and that red dress. Goddamn.
And I just noticed your graphic. I didn't catch it earlier. No, the Renegade recap one. Apparently the show was on at 2 p.m. Pacific and 5 p.m. Pacific instead of Eastern time.
That is your fault. And you know why it's your fault? Because you make me put the damn thing first. So that's your fault. That's
No, it's
botched.
your fault for not putting Eastern time, putting Pacific twice.
And why did I put Pacific twice? Because my brain's so scattered from you being the only one that has a problem with the Pacific shit. Anyway, so tomorrow, yes, tomorrow we'll be on. And again, this is also botched because I haven't edited it back yet. So this will also be on No DQ because Aaron has been very gracious to allow me to be on No DQ, regardless if he has a stream earlier that day, despite what I was believed to the contrary by other parties. So that it turned out to be a complete load of crap, as it turns out. As far as the algorithm being the same day, yeah, it was bullshit, and I figured it was, but it wasn't from him, which I also figured it wasn't. Anyway,
You know what? It's all good. You know, the flagship show
yeah,
on
baby,
all brands, I mean,
love it.
Talk Wrestling was born on No DQ, so the fact that it's there every Tuesday,
Yes, sir.
Talk Wrestling was relaunched on the Jeff Meacham Network with Aaron's blessing.
Yes.
Obviously, it's your home channel.
Yes.
Myself and Greg giving you the channels to put your content up and help boost our channels in the process. As much as it helps you for getting a whole other audience,
Right.
people that may not already subscribe to you, it helps us as well in boosting our hours and our ratings so that we can either get or stay monetized.
Right.
Just works out for all parties.
And it
And
is
I
such
always
a
look forward to tuning in every Tuesday after NXT and
yes.
at least listening to what you're talking about, because I may be editing and doing stuff for my own shows,
Yes.
writing a review or something rather.
And as we know, it is a mucker feather to get monetized or to get the hours just to get there in the first place, as we've talked about ad nauseum the last few days. But we're working on it. But in the meantime, again, you guys, not only can you can help with that on that front with super chats and whatnot. If we get $400 between now and the end of business day, June 30th, off goes the head of hair. So keep that in mind.
And it'll be done live on the air. It'll either be on an Ask the Dads or it might even be on an open mic night, just so we can get Noah and James's reaction also.
Right? That'd be cool. So Wednesday, good Lord, Wednesday. If ever there was a day that may be the end of me, it may be Wednesday, because on top of
Jeff,
our usual, because on top of the usual Greg Cherry show at 7:00 Eastern, 4 Pacific, as we do every Wednesday, on top of making sure that everybody tunes in at 3 p.m. Pacific. That's right, 3 p.m. Pacific. Let me take the banner down and make sure I made that clear. 3 p.m. Pacific on Wednesday, we'll be checking out JJ starting his month of movies with only one sequel with Brendan Fraser in Journey to the Center of the Earth. I myself will be heading home, and I don't mean to the other house. I don't mean to the place I'm going to be next Monday, which we'll get to momentarily. I'm talking about the Fabulous Forum and the California debut of AEW and Dynamite. I'll be there. I got the transit figured out. I'm going to be there before the damn building parking lot even opens.
I wonder if MJF is going to be there.
Nope.
I've heard things that are going on with him as a result of this weekend and whatnot.
Right.
But he's still on the graphic promoting.
Well, but that was
pulled him. I know, but they haven't pulled him and reissued a new one yet. Not that I have seen anyway. So could he be there even live via satellite?
He could. You never know with MJF. We clearly know that after this last weekend. So, but I have already
to see how that goes. Plus, like you said, the debut of AEW champion CM Punk.
Yeah, baby.
Coming down more than likely to start the show.
Yes.
With Cult of Personality blaring. Hopefully you'll get your Judas moment. The Young Bucks, TNT champion Scorpio Sky. People that we saw that, whether they're Cali natives or not, Bryan Danielson, that made their homes in Southern California, Samoa Joe. Getting to see those guys compete at this level with their championships in the Forum the house that quite literally the Kings built. Not that other team that wears purple and gold that played within those halls.
No.
Both the Forum and the Crypto.com Arena, formerly Staples Center, the houses the Kings built.
There is a major reason why this logo looks the way it looks. And a lot of that history is in that building.
Yeah.
So I am, again, I've been to a WWE house show there since the Kings vacated and it was converted into a concert hall, performance hall, whatever you want to call it. But man, just like you said, all the people that we talked about there that are on the roster, I've talked with people on the ground as far as our boy Christian's trying to show up to the show. I've reached out to Rick Knox. I haven't heard back from him yet, but Knox is a busy man. I've heard from Ricky Styles. He and his little girl are both going to be there. So that'll be cool to see Ricky after all this time. And barring a medical emergency, which God only knows at this point, Jenna is going to come with me as well. So get to see Jenna, and once again have Dolph Ziggler lament the fact that I'm in the same place with Paradise Kitty and he's not. So
but you know what? Maybe Frankie Kazarian will wear one of his 5 Paradise Kitty shirts on the show.
Yeah, I'm only not going to dig my kitty shirt out because I got my kitty hat ready. I am wearing my I found my network logo shirt. It was back in the closet, by the way, because I'm bringing Jenna's to her as well. She ordered a black one with this logo, so we're going to be dropping that off Wednesday as well. It's going to be awesome. Richard is here. What's up? Good to see you, Richard. He says, just finished watching Double or Nothing. Too long of a card to watch. Like, no shit. But moment of the night was the Owen Hart tournament presentation. Glad Owen is getting honored on such a big stage.
Yeah, I think that was the last point of the evening where Tony Khan was sober.
Right? By the way, I said it on social media. You gotta love the enthusiasm and you gotta love the sheer defense of Punk and the company. Oh, he's financial. That's fucking bullshit. I was like, yes, Tony, just latch of them, get them, kill them. It was so funny. And Punk's sitting there going, oh. Punk was having the, oh, Jesus moment. It was so funny to watch Punk not be the outspoken guy, to watch Punk have the reaction of, oh, dear Christ, he's lost his mind.
Right.
So good, because Punk's usually the one sitting there going, yeah. It's just like, Punk's just like, I'm the champ, he's the boss. Punk's reactions made that part of the show, that part of the presser, everything. Yeah. Oh, I love that, man. Anyway, I know people are going to shun me for loving Tony, but I really don't care. It's our network, and I don't give a shit. All right, so here's the thing with Thursdays in June. I have wanted to get these TNA/Impact tribute shows as far as watch along of the Gauntlet for the Gold, the watch along of the 4-way for the X Division Championship. There's not enough people that are available all at the same time, and I just don't know between tomorrow and Wednesday when I'm going to have the time to sit and do. So I don't know if it's going to work out. If it doesn't, worst case scenario, I will air the No DQ review in its time slot as a simulcast. If I do happen to be able to sit down at this desk at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific, and run the show, I will do my best. But again, I'm pretty sure either the match itself or the entire first show is on YouTube for public consumption, so we can do a watch along of that first show with that first Gauntlet for the Gold for the 10 pounds of gold. But getting people together, as we both know, is a muckerfuther, so I am trying. If we work it out, we will be on at 7 o'clock with the very first episode, with the very first main event in Impact Wrestling history. So there is that. Friday, however, we've gotten Noah Foster, the simple crazy man himself, to agree to cover the finals of the Best of the Super Juniors. And that's going to be at 2 a.m. our time, Jang Grief. 5 o'clock for you West Coast kids. I don't know what time it is in Japan. I didn't want to look because it just makes me mad that we're on so much damn earlier. But
Good luck to Wheeler Yuta and TJ Perkins.
Yeah. And again, I'm not sure where the numbers are. That would be a Noah thing we'll have to talk about as we get closer to Friday. But the fact that our boy TJ's there, Wheeler Yuta, of course, the reigning Ring of Honor Pure Champion. There's a lot of great talent
Ace Austin there. I recognize that name.
Yep, Ace Austin. El Phantasma's in there. There's a lot of solid talent in there that, again, can go. There's Rob Eagles is there, I see now. I'm trying to get the zoom in here. It's very hard for me to see. But Alex Zane. So there's a lot of quality talent there that I would not be surprised if they end up with the best points total. But again, we'll have to go more into that as we get closer to Friday. Saturday and Sunday is something I know this man is looking forward to. Tell us about Saturday, Jay.
Well, as I have said multiple times, both on this channel and on my own channel, I am both excited and nervous for this day. Saturday, June 4th, WWE, NXT, PLE, in your house. Myself and the simple man Noah Foster will be doing the commentary. James refuses to do any more WWEB shows after getting roped into WrestleMania Backlash.
It was a good show.
And we can't say we completely blame him, even though he doesn't want to give Backlash the credit it truly deserved.
Right.
But to be doing commentary alongside Noah is going to be nerve-wracking, to be sure, because I was telling Cece, I have not done commentary since the old LBWA days, when we would be filming the matches and whoever was filming the matches would be doing commentary at the same time. It's been that long. And LBWA, my involvement within it ended when my daughter was born. So it's been 13 years since I've done commentary.
Commentary-wise, yes. I did pass over Friday, your part, so forgive me. I'll go ahead and throw that up there now while I'm thinking about it.
You also passed over my part of Thursday, but that's okay.
Thursday?
Yes.
Thursday. Oh, don't. Okay, yeah. Go ahead and talk about this one first. Thank you for reminding me.
So on Friday, we'll be doing the sequel to Wednesday's Journey to the Center of the Earth as we revisit Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and we journey to the Mysterious Island.
Dun, dun,
also
dun.
starring Josh Hutcherson, Vanessa Hudgens, Luis Guzman, Michael Caine. Such a good movie. One of my top Dwayne Johnson movies. Yes. In fact, when we ranked his films, I think this was either number 2 or number 3.
It was pretty high
right up there.
Yeah. Thursday on the Casa D-18 Studios channel.
Yes, it'll be the debut of my coverage of the Disney Plus limited series, Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi. I reached out on Twitter to see if people wanted me to cover it. Only 3 people responded, but all 3 of those people said yes, so at least that's 3 views a week. That's all that matters, viewer hours. So I will be covering the Kenobi series every week. The first release was 2 episodes. The 2 episodes for the premiere out of 6. So on Thursday, I'll be covering episodes 1 and 2.
There you go. Sunday, prior to us going live for what we're talking about here momentarily, you also have a show Sunday.
Yes, I've got the War Zone, the weekly acquisition report, where I show off some of my newest additions to my hard copy movie library. DVDs, Blu-rays, whatever it is that I've picked up over the last couple of weeks here. And that is just going to be a random finds episode. Stuff that I've found. Most of the stuff that I've shown off so far has been stuff that I grabbed from Dollar Tree. This is going to be stuff from outside of the Dollar Tree realm.
Fancy.
Stuff from Big Lots. Stuff from thrift stores, stuff from Penny Lane Records in downtown Upland, which is a favorite stomping grounds of mine. Richard, you are right. Noah is a commentary machine.
Yes.
Vince McMahon, Tony Khan, Dixie Carter, if she still owns Impact, I'm not sure. I've been out of it that long.
You got the
But-
more. You got the more.
Any wrestling promotion would be like completely blessed to hire this man to have sit at their table. And we are thankful that he joins us here for every watch along that we do on the Jeff Meacham Network. And we are starting to co-present over on the Casa D-18 Studios channel. Jeff, I appreciate you allowing it to branch off onto those channels as well to try and help boost up our visibility as well.
I'm not going to lie. Last night was less of a clusterfuck as far as the simulcast than I thought it would be. I'm not even going to lie. So that was a relief, to say the very least.
But yeah, like we are thankful every time that Noah joins us on screen that he is here as part of our team to do the play-by-play for all the presentations we bring to you guys.
It is a wonderful thing just to be sure to have him along for the ride. Speaking of having Noah, again, he doesn't want to do these damn shows. I don't blame him. He really doesn't want to do these shows because they are going to be what they're going to be. But you get to call the show with him on Saturday. Sunday, we're going to Chicago early before we even get to enter the forbidden door, if you will, because WWE is presenting their next premium live event.
Yes. Hell in a Cell. Or as we call it here on the network, the Red Crate of Hate.
I can't get over how stupid that is, but it's so funny.
Greg, if you are seeing this, you need this to be a t-shirt.
This needs to be a thing.
Get rid of all the other words on here, but just have the Jeff Meacham Network, the crate, the Red Crate of Hate, and the Flames. Everything else can go.
I have all
that legit needs to be a t-shirt.
Yes. And by the way,
go alongside the Skippy Flyback shirt.
Yes.
Red Crate of Hate.
What's so funny is that dipshit still managed to avoid the damn Red Crate of Hate era of Hell in a Cell, despite how lame he is.
Richard is going to be at Hell in a Cell. Why?
Are you really, Richard?
Whoa! Are free.
Wow. Damn. Does the ticket package come with a freaking Red Crate of goodies? Is that how it's going to work? Or Red Crate of WWEshop.com merch. And then a week from today, Jay, we're going to be back on the air with another round because of the way June laid out. Before
we get to that, before we get to the next episode of Ask the Dads, Renegade's Review will be covering Wayne's World. It is going to be party time. It is going to be excellent.
Okay. I will get those. I am going to have the whole calendar up, but I'll go ahead and I was only going to cover Monday because I'm plugging this particular show, but that's okay. Give me a second. There it is. There's that one. Thank you very much. And we'll go ahead since we're doing the thing. How far up is there? It is. Boop. All right. So yes, after this weekend's shenanigans, as we do
shenanigans by the shirt.
Yes, by all the shirts, please, including that Red Crate of Hate when it goes up. JJ's got a hell of a month out of it, man. He's got the sequels aplenty. Actually, there's only one sequel each of these movies, but movies aplenty on Renegade's Reviews.
Yes, we've already discussed the Journey to the Center of the Earth movie and its sequel. Following week, we got Wayne's World 2. Then we got Young Guns 2. National Treasure Book of Secrets. Mortal Kombat Annihilation. And Kick-Ass 2.
And the 29th is a mystery day. You'll have to just wait and see what he does. So.
Just like Evolution is a mystery.
That's right.
The 29th is a mystery.
Yes. And as we talked about, it is now official, Mr. Pierce. There are I am Darren Young up in this bitch. There are no days off until July 3rd. God help me. And again, what I found out, even if we don't go to Pomona or to XPW, live on IWTV, on pay-per-view, on internet, and XPW's on Fight TV.
There you go.
So we will be covering those shows one way or the other. So
I definitely want to try to at least at least get to the XPW show because of all of the
Yes.
stellar women wrestlers that are going to be there.
Yes.
Camille, Deanna Perrazzo, Taya Valkyrie, Steph DeLander.
Oh man, so
Help me out. I'm blanking on
our
some
buddy
of the other names.
Station Supreme. You know, there's so many. There's 8 women competing to become the first ever XPW Women's Champion. How in the hell can they justify? Because it's not the same XPW. Yes, it's the same owner. Yes, it's the same logo, but it is a new era of XPW, and I am all about it. I'm looking forward to going. I haven't been to a live XPW show since Kiss Hamrick Don kicked my damn face off, and that was almost 20 years ago. So,
Chelsea Green.
Chelsea,
That was the other one I was blanking on. I knew there was
Yeah, I
another like
couldn't- yeah.
really major name.
right?
I was blanking on it. Chelsea Green's going to be there.
Yes.
You know, with some of those women's being there, Chelsea, will Matt Cardona show up? Will John Hennigan be there with Taya? You know, we'll have to find out.
If
For a couple of guys with wrestling shows that know some of the people that are involved with these companies,
yes,
we might be able to pull some coups, either schedule interviews or get some footage filmed for the shows.
at the
I'm
worst,
really trying.
At the worst, and I mean worst case scenario, we both need updated pictures with John Morris, with John Hennigan, and Matt Cardona. Because our picture with Matt is Zack Ryder 2011 SummerSlam old.
Right?
And I think our picture with Morrison is also the same age. So.
Well, no, because
Maybe
I was going to say, we got Morrison at that comedy show.
I thought that was 2011 as well, was it not? Or was it 2012?
I think that was 2012.
I know it was after the Bell 50 or something. So whenever that fell. So yeah, it had to have been 2012 because after the Bell 1 was 2011. So it had to have been after the Bell in 2012. Okay. But yeah, that's everything. Like I said in the description for the show today, 11 pay-per-views being covered or some sort of special event. New Japan, XPW, the NWA, Prestige Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, WWE, AEW. We are covering the gamut, man. We are running. I'm running the damn gauntlet. I called it a marathon. 35 days beginning yesterday of some sort of live something or other on this channel. God save the king, as Nick Aldis' theme says. Good Lordy.
And Wrestling Prestige has got some great names too coming to town. You got Mia Yim and Willow Nightingale.
Yes.
You've got Lee Moriarty and Konosuke Tashida. I know I botched that. Forgive me.
It's all right. Show
We've got our boys PP Ray versus the Dark Order. We've got Tyler Bateman, who we've seen from Battleground all those years
Bateman
ago.
around here. Absolutely.
It's been about a decade since we've seen him.
Right.
So there's some heavy hitters there too. Back-to-back weekends in Pomona. If you are in the SoCal area, that is where you want to be for the weekend of the 18th and the 25th.
There you go. And those are bookended by the followed by, in either case, by another major milestone for each company. Figure SLAMMIVERSARY is the day after Prestige, and Forbidden Door is the day after XPW. So.
And don't forget, on the 24th, we're going to have our own Forbidden Door fantasy cards.
Oh, yes. Thanks to this guy's suggestion, man. I can't even describe how much good stuff is coming up. But I do want to talk about tomorrow because we are actually getting close to the bottom of the hour. Which I'm surprised we actually went this long today, considering how few people we had in here today.
Well, the plugs took so damn long.
Right? Because there's so damn many of them. There are 2 reasons why we're doing another Ask the Dads next Monday. Number one, as you saw in the schedule, I wanted it to line up where June 27th was a celebration of John Cena. It's 20 years to the broadcast day that he debuted in WWE. So we are going to be talking about John's greatest matches on that day.
Just
the
like
other reason is
celebration of Randy Orton on his 20th anniversary as well.
Exactly. We would have done Brock Lesnar had we had the foresight, but it was ready in March and we didn't do it. So and Batista having 10 great matches between the two of us, would be probably too challenging, to be honest with you. I mean, I enjoy Dave in movies more than I do in wrestling, so it's kind of what it is there. But John, we're definitely going to focus on John. That's one reason. The other reason is trying to do a top 10 with all the bells and whistles we do with trying to run the channel and run the control room will be difficult, at least for one of us next week. Because while JJ is, as he do, in the studio, I will be live on location at another home away from home for me for my entire life. I will be at the happiest place on earth. No, I'm not talking about the Fabulous Forum, although damn it might as well be. Disneyland. I am so looking forward to this that some version of this guy will be on screen with me the rest of this week, going into Monday next week. And JJ, I haven't even told you this yet. Over here on mute right now is background music from around the resort. And next to me constantly at the moment is the Howard Johnson cam. It's on 24/7 in here because, yeah, I'm jazzed about going. So
I don't blame you. As jealous as I am about you going to AEW on Wednesday, I'm just as jelly about you going to Disney on Monday, getting to see Phantasmic, which I know how much that show means to you. You know,
yeah.
If Jeff were going to be live during that show, there would be tears aplenty.
There probably will be, even though we're on at 4 o'clock. I'll probably still be a complete hot mess because not only am I going to be there, it's more than likely our buddy Ronnie's going to meet up with me because she works there now.
There you go.
I haven't seen her since we was roommates.
Right.
So maybe once. That's it. And I haven't confirmed or denied 100% yet. There is question. But a certain redhead cosplayer I've met through the course of my work in this industry may also be popping over to say hello, to meet in person for the first time.
Nice.
So Monday's going to be a big day, to say the very least. The return to me is fantastic. Now, by the way, speaking of that person, y'all having fist fights at Phantasmic on the rivers of America, y'all stupid. You're at the happiest place on earth. There's kids around. There's people trying to be part of the damn magic, and y'all fist fighting with cast members and your fellow guests. Grow up. Stop being idiots. There. I said what I want to say about that. Get to see that. Get to, hopefully, if my concussed brain will allow me, finally board Rise of the Resistance. Because that needs to be done. Yes. There was some. Oh, I'm not doing the Main Street Electrical Parade because money is a mucker feather. I need a scooter because my ass is old and dead and tired. But next time, Main Street Parade will be a thing because that's 50 years old this year too. Phantasmic's 30. The Main Street Parade is 50 this year. Like we talk about Dwayne turning 50 back in May, June 17th actually, which is also on the calendar. Let me get that up. Where's my mouse? There it is. It won't be that. I'll try to get a film of it, but I doubt it. I think I have somebody that was there for the actual return, but we'll be doing that on the DL over on the Meach's Disney Fix Twitter. The Meteorological Parade, which again is one of those you're only going to find that kind of amazement, technology, and magic at the happiest place on earth. It's a beautiful thing. But Phantasmic, like you said, dude, I'm obsessed with that show so much that I managed to get my hands on the old souvenir guide with Kodak tips and everything from the week that thing premiered. So I am just like, it can't come soon enough, nor can Wednesday night.
Yeah, and I'll be here running the studio for that show while Jeff is on location. So that's going to be fun for me, trying to keep up with everybody's comments and bringing things up to the forefront. And
keep up with me moving around Magic Kingdom.
Dude, it would be awesome if you could find a way to get a couple of the characters in the background of your shots while we're live, man. I mean, obviously you can't have them on as like guests, but if you're wandering and you can get a shot of Mickey or Donald or something to pop on the show, that would just be awesome.
My grand plan, as we get ready to close out here, we're going to go past 5 here, but that's okay. My grand plan is to videotape my interaction with Mickey, because this is the first time they've allowed us to actually get close, do the whole hug and selfie thing. So there definitely will be interaction. If we can get on the air between 4 and 5, so much the better. I will do my best. One way or the other, I want you guys to see that, because if talk about me crying before Fantasmic, getting to hug Mickey Mouse, I know it's not manly, Jeff. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. You know, if you guys have been following along with me on Instagram, I've been counting actually on all of them. I've been counting down to next Monday. Monday's video for the countdown will definitely be the longest one I do, because it'll be multiple stories long. Let's put it that way. And there's a big reason for that. You'll see it on Monday. But yeah, it's one of those. As much as I've been looking forward to AEW on Wednesday, the fact that I also have Disneyland on the horizon is it's going to be one of the better weeks I've had. I'm so looking forward to how everything plays out, and I appreciate you being willing to run the studio next Monday and you know, helping out along the way the rest of the week here, because I'm going to be on location more than I intended to be honest with you this week, because I might be at the Whiskey A Go-Go Thursday night too. So that's the other thing about Thursday's stream. It might be a bitch to try to pull everything off, but I'm going to try. In either case.
Yes. So that is what is on the horizon for us. Make sure you guys tune in. Make sure you guys follow. Subscribe to the Casa D-18 Studios channel if you haven't already. Subscribe to Jeff's channel if you haven't already. Make sure you're here on Wednesday, 3 Pacific, 6 Eastern, for my coverage of Journey to the Center of the Earth. Tomorrow, of course, will be Talk Wrestling across multiple platforms immediately following NXT. You find it either on No DQ's YouTube channel, Greg Cherry brand, Casa D-18 Studios, or of course the Jeff Meacham Network. The Greg Cherry Show on Wednesday here on the Jeff Meacham Network, as well as on the Greg Cherry brand, with Jeff dropping in from the fabulous forum.
Yes.
Hopefully he'll have some video stuff that he can air during that, you know. Well, no, I know you're going to be popping in all day, but if you get the chance to have interactions with somebody, especially an old friend, maybe somebody there can film for you so that you can then send it to Greg so that it can be popped up and aired during the show.
Well, the good part is that's one thing about this is you can't do the videos from your phone to StreamYard because they don't like any MP4s. But yeah, I'll be filming all day. Hopefully, we can get somebody live there we can interact with. But remember, I'm gonna be in the door at 4:00, so we'll see how things lay out. But so much good stuff. Thank you all for watching. If you are amongst the crazies and want to watch Raw, feel free. We're 2 minutes in, so thank you all very much for being here. Yeah, just enjoy, like Noah said last night, and he always says, enjoy whatever you enjoy about it, but enjoy professional wrestling, damn it, because there's a lot of great shit coming up in the next 35 days.
We're all fans of the same thing. Whether you want to call it pro wrestling, whether you want to call it sports entertainment, whether you're pro AEW, anti-WWE, pro WWE, anti-AEW, we're all fans of the same thing. You know, it was said best back in 1998 by a couple of slackers from San Dimas. Be excellent to each other.
Yes. Goodness sakes.
And of course, when it comes to pro wrestling, party on, dude. For the dads, I'm the Renegade JJ Williams. He's the West Coast Professor, Jeff motherfucking Meacham. And we will see you next time.